This meeting is. Hello, horror fans. It's me, Cassandra, and
Kylee.
And tonight, we are without Mary. Mary is watching Ginger Snaps 2 with her mother-in-law. But the reason she is not joining us is because we are doing a Spooky Moms takeover. For those of you who don't know, Kylee and I run a separate podcast that is in the Horrorcraft web called Spooky Moms Coven, and it is the more kid-friendly, spooky family-friendly version of
our ratings PG-13.
Yeah, PG-13 and under. So if you listen to Spooky Moms, this will be a hybrid version of Spooky Moms and Horrorcraft, so that there's some, curse words that fly. Forgive us. We're only human, and Horrorcraft is a different landscape than Spooky Moms. So, but we're super excited to talk about why Spooky Moms are important, talk about what led us to doing Spooky Moms, why we think this is an important thing to have out in the internet right now. And we are also going to be talking about a movie that combines both the best of Spooky Moms and Horrorcraft, which is pretty much a movie that was made for preteens, horror-wise, and that is The Monster Squad. If you have not seen The Monster Squad, stop this episode. It is currently available for a very low price to rent on VOD. We try to stick with ones that you can find more openly, but we're not responsible for streaming, and streaming loves to take things off all the time. So very rude. We're still in a battle with them.
Yeah.
TUBI, you're still our favorite.
Yep.
So, but if you haven't seen Monster Squad, we would highly recommend you watch it and then come back and talk with us. But we are going to get started. So, for all of you horror fans, your spooky families, the spooky moms, spooky dads, aunts, cousins, uncles, whoever you are, this episode's for you. We're about to take it somewhat kid-friendly on this podcast and introduce you to the world of Spooky Moms. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. Let's cue the music. Okay, so we are back. So if you missed the intro, we are doing a Spooky Moms takeover. Spooky Moms is the second podcast in the Horrorcraft universe. It is the more family-friendly approach. Kylee, what would you say is the Spooky Moms vibe?
Well, we're family friendly, but we're weird and spooky.
Yeah, we're
on the spot like that.
I always do.
You always do.
I know. I'm a horrible person. I'm so sorry. It's okay. You still love me.
I do. The way my brain is functioning these days.
So basically, Kylee and I, the kind of I guess vibe that we go for is she is the modern day Morticia and I am the modern day Lily Monster. Those are two really great examples of spooky motherhood, mothers that, yes, they were a little quirky and a little of their own universe, but they were fantastic moms, and it never affected their parenting.
Nope. Not a bit. Not at all.
Yeah. And I think that is, hold on one second. Okay, so before I took that brief pause, basically that's kind of the approach of Spooky Moms, is showing that yes, you could be a little spooky, you could be a little kooky, your whole family can have that vibe, but that doesn't deter you from being a good parent, doesn't tarnish your brand or anything like that. It's just who you are. And I think there are ways that you can embrace it. And I think people automatically assume that if you're a spooky parent, you're forcing your kid to watch horror movies. And that's definitely not the vibe that Kylee and I are going for.
No.
Yeah. Never force your child to watch a movie they clearly don't want to watch. That's not great. Yeah. If your child is interested, we have ways to help you step up those interests. So if they like certain movies and they can only handle in this vein, or you're looking for something in that realm, we got you. You're looking for something on their level, book wise, movie wise, all across the board. We got you for that as well. So it's all about just being a family, enjoying time together, and embracing your uniqueness, what makes you spooky, and kooky and a little out there. I know for me, I have a ring that says Weird Mother, and people sometimes look at me when I'm wearing it like, what? And I was like, there's nothing wrong with being a weird mom. Like, I'm a weird
I'm
mom.
constantly putting "stay weird" on stuff and like on shirts. Like I'm constantly in a shirt that says "stay weird."
Yeah, I kind of envision uh Matthew McConaughey's voice going, "Stay weird." That was a weird
Exactly.
that was a weird
Exactly.
impression of
That's
Matthew.
kind of that's the vibe I usually am going for.
Yeah, or in this case, Jeff Goldblum, especially because the way I'm sitting because of my
You
back.
can help yourself.
I couldn't. The way I was sitting because of my back right now, it looks very much Jeff Goldblum-esque. So your girl she's a little bit of a struggle bus tonight, but we're here. We're alive, we're doing it.
Yep.
So yeah, so we will put the description in the description down below. We will put the link for Spooky Moms. We are going to be posting more regular. Kylee and I made our return for Johnny and Friends. And we dropped an episode about Love and Monsters. And we will have a episode dropping July 17th about Scooby-Doo. The live action Scooby-Doo with Matthew Willard and Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar, Linda
Oh, I
Cardellini.
can't wait to talk about this.
Oh, I know, because that's they love, as for anyone,
But I love her as Daphne.
they love teasing me about Sarah Michelle Gellar. So it's okay. My heart's with you, Sarah.
To be continued.
We're not having this discussion. So but for those of our fans out there who haven't been checking out our social media, Kylee and I were in person together for a whole week.
A whole week.
A
Like it
whole
was
week.
no screens. We kept having to touch each other. Like, is this real?
Yeah. There were a lot of funny moments. We're definitely going to tell some funny stories here in a moment. But yeah, how weird was it to be reunited and for those of you who are wondering, our distance isn't a long distance, but it's just we had so much happen in the past year that it just made it kind of impossible.
Yeah, life got real life and lifey.
Yeah. But it's great because we are going to be reunited here in less than a month again for GhouliCon, which if you missed the announcement, Horrorcraft is doing a live episode on the GhouliCon stage Friday, where we are going to be doing Reddit stories. And it's going to be a special one. So if you don't have tickets for
You
GhouliCon,
do not want to miss it.
yeah, if you do not have tickets for GhouliCon, get them. I'm sure we'll have clips and stuff like that that'll be posted on their social media, that we'll be sharing and stuff like that. But don't miss out. And we are going to have some cool things going on in our social media for that week. And if you definitely missed this, we did a rebrand. We were doing a lot during vacation. Like,
Yeah.
we were fresh out the gate, man. But we did a rebrand. And so our beautiful new logo, which I'm going to put, it's blurry. So we tried. I'm going to put a picture.
Yeah,
I'm going
we'll
to put
put
a picture of on social media after this episode post. If you go to our Horrorcraft socials, you'll see the picture on there. But the amazing Sarah, who did. So we're back. this kind of shit happens all the time at Horrorcraft. I'm just going to tell you the shenanigans. So Kylee and I are filming here. Obviously, Mary knew we were filming. The link is available to anybody who is on Horrorcraft. And Mary just popped in. You might see it.
The shit out of me.
It scared the crap out of both of us. Literally, like, made us die. God. Yeah. That's what, you know, if you guys wonder if we really, you know, if we're really doing this shit in real life, yeah, we are.
This is real life. Like, this ain't fake. This is real life.
In the group chat, she literally put, I had a free moment, and I'm like, I'm coming in with my bullshit. That's what Kylee likes to say about Mary, that Mary comes in on her bullshit.
Here's Mary. That's my bullshit. That's my bullshit.
Back on my bullshit. That's not Spooky Moms appropriate, but you know, Kaylani, Janae Oki. That's a good song. So Kylee, yeah, we were in person and it was fun. We definitely had to keep touching each other. Like, hey, Kylee took it to the extreme though. And I don't know if you could see, but your girl did get some color.
Oh, we're gonna go there. We're gonna go there.
We're gonna go there. We're gonna tell the story. I was defending you, okay? I was defending you.
You better be, because I put sunscreen on my friend.
Kylee and I were by the pool with our kids. Kylee put sunscreen on me. I did reapply. I got burnt to a crisp. You could see pictures on my social media of it. But for those of you who don't know, the special needs retreat that we go to, Johnny and Friends, they have these volunteers called STMs who hang out with your kids for the week and kind of just give you some respite care, it's a great program, and they kind of become your family. So Kylie's STM, CJ, has been Juju's for the last 2 years. Yeah. And shout out to CJ and Mason, and Mike.
And Mike.
They're our family, our little family. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Hearts in the air. But CJ has a friend, Alexis, who is also one of the volunteers. And Alexis had seen that Kylee had put the suntan lotion on me. And so the following day, actually, it was like a day or two later, Kylee and I are sitting at what's like a nice mother's lunch that they serve. And she comes up and she goes, man, you really let your friend down. And we start laughing and we're like, what do you mean? She was like, you didn't apply that. You really did a bad job applying that. And
yeah, remember before?
Yeah. Yeah. And what had happened before is Kylee had literally smacked me because she got so excited to tell me something. She smacked my arm right here and I just literally froze up. It was like, ah! And so she was like, I'm so sorry. And she's bubbling. She gets the gel and she rubs it on my shoulder. She's like, it's okay. And she's patting it.
I know, I was just carrying around aloe vera gel everywhere because everybody was burned. Aloe vera for you. Aloe vera for you. Like Oprah.
But yeah, that was real.
Alexis, you know, roasted the shit out of me, man.
She really did. That was you know, it happens. It's fine. Fun
in the sun. Summer rain.
Yeah. So many funny memories. I made Jim scream like a girl in the pool. It was memorable. There were a lot of men that were not wanting to get in the water. Jim was one of them. Jim does not like the cold, and it was cold water, but once you got in it, you were fine. And what's so funny is our friend Jerry, which Jerry, if you're listening, hi, we love you, and Macy, Zealand, the whole fam. Which I gotta tell you a funnier part of this story once I finish this. But Jim did not want to, so finally I pulled him into the other side, and he was screaming. You could even see in the video, Jerry took a video,
Yeah,
and I'm
Jerry
like,
took a whole video.
yeah, and I'm trying to like dunk with him, and Jerry had got in there and dunked and was like a boss about it, right?
Yeah.
And so Jim, when I finally did like get him and splash him and get him under, he like screamed like a girl. Jerry got this all on film. The funny part to this story now is at Johnny and Friends, unbeknownst to Kylee and I. Kylee and I know about this program. We didn't know about this. You could send sunshine grams, right? Which are these little notes that get put on your door. That's like, you know, kind of pen pally, like while you're at retreat and stuff. Unbeknownst to me, Jerry had set a sunshine gram that got put on Jim's door that says, "I hereby certify that James Sidoti was a very brave man today." And wrote this really nice note.
Dude, you didn't tell me that.
No, I just found it. Yeah.
Oh my God, you just found it?
I just found it because it was on Jim's door, and Jim, like, he had it in his bag. But I just thought it was the greatest thing possible. So
you're gonna have to send me that.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna frame it. We're gonna
frame it
in
the archives.
Yeah, it's going in the archives, Jerry. The one funny thing that did happen, speaking of Jerry's, was at Kylie's house. Kylee, Jim and I decided to stay at Kylie's house.
Jerry, that took me a second.
Fucking Jerry, different Jerry. But different Kylee, Jerry. We brought our inflatable mattresses. These are newer inflatable mattresses, and we haven't used them very frequently. And Jim blew them up. They have like a plug. Braden's on the one side, I'm on the other. I had just gotten in this bed, and I had, you know when you're a plus size person and you get on an air mattress, you're kind of just sunk in there. So I was like in it, to win it. And so Jim forgot his phone, and it's on the other side by me. So Jim walks past. He somehow hits the plug for the air mattress and literally sucks all the air out of the air mattress. So I literally like rise down to the floor. At this point in time, Kylee is back sleeping, and Dakota had gone out and got something. Dakota comes back, and I'm literally on a deflated mattress, laughing my ass off. And I had grabbed Braden's, so it's like only halfway deflated. Fucking Ryder, their dog. Ryder Henry with his tail literally whips the air mattress and deflates Braden. And we could not get Braden. Dakota was like, "Are you guys just gonna leave Braden there?" So I'm trying to tell the story to Kylee about what happened, and autocorrect, instead of Jim, puts Jerry. And Kylie's like, "Who the fuck is Jerry?" I'm like, "I don't know. Who the fuck is Jerry?" And so that became the joke that when something was going wrong, it's fucking Jerry. It's fucking Jerry.
Yep, fucking Jerry.
We left Jerry at Kylie's house. He's a ghost. He'll fit in fine there.
He'll fit in fine here.
So, but yeah, fucking Jerry. So we had some pretty fun times. Yeah, we had some pretty fun. We had some great fun times. Johnny and Friends. I just feel like there's not enough that I could say about it to properly do it justice. It is just a feeling. It is exactly what you want. It is community. It is people who are so invested in your life. Even though you don't see them for a year, they know all these details and they are plugged in with you. And you have such deep conversations with people. You relate on such a level. And it really is a community. It's truly a slice of heaven. It is the closest we will probably ever get to heaven.
Literally, it's a place for all, families with special needs to be able to go have a vacation and not have to worry about all the cruelties of the outside world, the judgment, people just not getting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's just such a great experience. Kylee and I when we go there, sometimes I think we kind of get in our own heads because we feel like because we're the spooky moms, we don't fit in. And we had the opportunity to have the greatest experience possible. And I feel like
Oh
Kylee and I
yes.
are gonna cry talking about this. But there is a STM there. His name is, well, actually, no, he's part of the team that helps out with everything. His name is Mike Huddock. We love you.
Love you, Mike.
Yeah, you and Laura are amazing. Sully, their little baby. But Mike always stops and talks to us about horror movies. And Kylee and I, before this, had had a date night. One of the things that you could do at retreat is have a date night. So Kylee, Dakota, Jim, and I got to have a date night, which was crazy for us to be able to have a date night, the four of us. Like that's a unique experience in itself.
Yeah.
But Kylee and I had kind of splintered off because we wanted to make a video for Mary's birthday. Mary's birthday was the following day, so we wanted to make a video for her. And we wanted to find a place to do it. Well, while we were trying to find a place, Mike stops us and says, "Hey, one of the amazing adults, and this is a retreat for all special needs. So it's not just for people who have autism, anything like that. It's all across the board. So one of the amazing adults, Logan, he loves horror movies and
Yeah.
reenacts them. And his parents were telling Mike about how they reenact them. And Mike immediately thought about us. And so he told his parents about us. And I think their names, please forgive me if I'm saying this wrong. I will add an edit if it is, but I think their names are Jim and Christina. Gonna like double check to make sure. But they were telling him about all of this. So he told him about us and the podcast, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll definitely have to introduce you to them." Well, then he runs into us. So we're like, "We got to meet him." So when we get out there, Logan is getting out of the pool. He was a little shy, obviously, because there are these strangers that are coming up and talking to him about horror movies. And he is this wonderful adult that is, he's just got the most bubbly smile, and he's a joy. And his parents actually had to come up. So we got to talk to them, talk about the scary movies. And Kylee just so happened to have our stickers
Yep.
in her book bag. So we were able to give him our stickers. And we are going to be sending him a movie box, which will be super fun. We are going to curate that, make it all special for them. But the coolest thing about that too is this should show you exactly how much Johnny and Friends is willing to go for people. Logan was really afraid of going over this one bridge that he has to go over because he has a wheelchair. And so his parents came up with this idea that there's a troll under the bridge. And so they came up with the idea that they got to go troll hunting. So they got some of the staff members from Johnny and Friends to get on in it. And one of the head guys, Wally, if you're listening, we love you too. He got in the golf cart and literally like took the troll, and the troll was played by our very own Mike Huddock. And they captured the troll and took him away. So then we were talking about he was making grumbling noises, apparently Logan down the halls, and we were like, his mom was like, "Oh, we got to do zombie hunting next." And so I'm like, "Oh, tell us about zombies. Like we will get involved in this. We will make this a whole thing." But just the pure fact that that is his way of healing is everything that we do Spooky Moms about.
Well, it's like, yeah, it's the reason why we do what we do. Horror, people look at horror so bad and so scary, but look how horror just helped that man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. There's nothing better than that.
I know. Kylee and I, as soon as we were done, we got in this room and her and I both started crying. And for those of you who are wondering who cried more during the vacation, I'm definitely the holder of that. Yeah. Don't know what they put in my new medicine, but yeah, extra teary. That was the name of the game. But no, it was definitely a confirmation of everything that Kylee and I are out here preaching. So if you think for 1 minute that we are doing this just to do this, we are not. We are those people. We are in the paint, as Kylee would like to say, in this mess. We are here. We are constantly trying to show people the different sides of horror. And I kind of felt like a cult leader a little bit while we were at Johnny and Friends, because some of the, you get into small groups and you ask questions, and I was relating things back to horror and stuff like that. I was really talking up the Changeling and stuff, but you know what? People who get it, because then Pastor Kyle, who was there, his wife asked about one of the shows that I had said something about, and she was like, I really want to watch it. I was like, I got you. Yep. And it was From. I was like, please go watch From, especially for Jamie. Please go watch From. Jamie, we love you. We love a lot of people on this episode, but Jamie, you know you're one of our favorites. We love you. But yeah, it just confirms everything that you feel. So it was a very profound moment, and I am very grateful for everything that this trip brought us, especially how close it brought us. Our kids are now their own gang. Brayden and Juju, we're siblings.
Yeah.
Brayden could not go anywhere without Juju. Juju was Brayden's shadow. And it was super cute. We have a bunch of cute pictures. Zane, I had so many good moments. There was one where I cried because he took my hand and let me lead him down the hallway, and I'm just like, Kylee. So, because I am Aunt Cass, but actually having that moment where it's like, yeah, you are Aunt Cass.
I know who you are. I know who you are. I haven't seen you in here, but I know who you are.
Yeah, profound moments. Kylee can verify that Brayden is a preteen.
He's freaking huge.
Mm-hmm.
He's the coolest kid ever, though. Literally.
He's 1000% me.
Yeah. Oh my God, yes. When was it yesterday when you guys were arguing?
Yeah.
Going back and forth. I'm like, that shit's her versus her. She's fighting with herself. I feel bad for her because I fight with myself every day too. His name's Julian James.
That's so true. Definitely part of being a mom, a spooky mom, is realizing that the world is not ready for a tinier, angrier, sassier version of yourself. And that is definitely me. So, yeah. And it's so funny because Juju too will clock so many funny moments. As you could see, I recently got my hair redone, and I was telling Kylee about it. Juju gets on and he's like, why you look like my mom?
Why do you look like my mom?
Why do you look like my mom? Why are you twins?
What was his name the whole time at the retreat? Bacon? Airwick?
I guess.
What was it last night? Last night it was Kevin at the baseball game. His name is Kevin. I'm like, really? You picked that name? Okay.
Yeah, but so thank you to everyone who made retreat wonderful. If we're in our own bubble during retreat, I apologize. It's just such a pleasure to have your friend in front of you. I made a TikTok and it is on my TikTok, but actually being able to be in a car with Kylee, listening to music.
Yeah, just normal, everyday things that friends do,
It's like if we had this all the time, it would be over. It'd be over. The world could not stand us.
No, especially us in the car.
Yes. So, but it was fun. And I am so incredibly thankful, truly, for our volunteers, Mason, Mike, CJ. They're the goats. They hold it down. We have to give them so many props because they love our kids so fiercely like us.
Yeah.
And they just get and understand. And I know for me personally too, Mike has done a lot. This was Brayden's second year with Mike. and Mike has done a lot of Kid Again events with us. And just hung out with Braden, not obligated to, but has literally like adopted my child as a big brother. And I am just so incredibly thankful. And the whole time too, like he was there, like they really did kind of form their own gang. So Mason would be like hanging out with Braden too. CJ would be hanging out with Braden. Like they were all hanging out with each other.
Yeah.
And just seeing that and like them it felt like our own little family. And it was just so profound. We are supposed to get pictures back from Johnny and friends.
I cannot wait.
We did take a picture with all of us except for Braden, because Braden was dead asleep on by the fourth day. Braden was done. He had been in the pool with Julian and Zane for the last 3 days. He was tapping out, so he fell asleep on a lawn chair. We did get a picture with everybody, so we'll have to put that on our social media, but it was a fantastic time. And this is exactly why Spooky Moms exists, is that same feeling that we feel at Johnny and Friends is something that we want to make for our community, the horror community. And that's why this is so special to Kylee and I. So for those who doubted maybe our resolution with it, especially because of the tragic events that happened around it coming out. For those of you who didn't know, Kylee did lose her mom around the time that the first episode dropped. It hasn't stopped us from loving what we're doing. We are more than committed than ever on bringing a spotlight on Spooky Moms.
We're back. We're back.
We're back. We're rocking and rolling with Horrorcraft, and we're rocking and rolling with Spooky Moms, and we're about to bring the Horrorcraft universe to GhouliCon. So I mean, we're out there, man. We're out there.
Out here, okay.
We're out here slaying the game, slaying. So yeah, but enough about all of our Spooky Mom shenanigans. Let's talk about
Monster Squad.
Yeah, so I'm gonna quote Mary on this, and Mary, don't pop up again, please.
If she does, she's gotta stay. She's
obligated.
She's obligated to stay.
She's obligated. So Monster Squad, in Mary's opinion, is like Universal Monsters from Wish.
That's fucked up. But I mean, I kind of feel it. I feel like it's the Goonies with Universal Monsters. And it's a perfect fucking combination.
I feel like it is the perfect movie to show your kids what the Universal Monsters can be without exactly showing them the Universal Monsters yet. Because even though I feel like a lot of the Universal Monsters are more innocuous than what we lead them.
Kind of maybe like toned down.
Yeah. They are definitely, it's something that will get their interest piqued, because Universal Monsters, we can appreciate them as adults, right? But seeing them as kids, they're black and white movies. They maybe not translate well for some kids, and this is, I feel like, a more connective tissue. And it's so funny the way that they got around the licensing problems with the Universal Monsters and being able to use that, which I'm wearing my Universal Monsters t-shirt, which Julian actually clocked when we were at Johnny and Friends. He asked me what these were, and I had to explain to him each character.
He actually sat down and watched this movie with me for quite a long time and liked it. I was very, very surprised, because Julian doesn't sit long.
No, he doesn't.
Anything right now except Roblox and MEMs.
Yeah, he was about to throw Braden out for not playing Roblox with him.
Oh, I don't know where he gets it from. That damn dad.
Maybe. So to synopsize Monster Squad, we are going to go to the IMDb. I don't know why I did that for dramatic effect, but
it'd have been a lot cooler if you're wearing sunglasses. No, do it again. That's cool.
12-year-old Sean Crenshaw and his best friend Patrick are diehard monster fanatics, along with their friend Horace, junior high tough guy Rudy, Sean's kid sister Phoebe, and little Eugene. They come together and talk monsters. But when Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the Gill Man, and the Mummy come to their small town to get an amulet to control the world, Sean leads his friends into action to protect their town from the forces of evil. To preface this, I'm going to go on record. There may be other instances, so we'll bring them up as they come about, but this is probably the only time I really don't, for lack of a better term, fuck with Dracula. Like,
Nope.
I'm a hardcore Dracula fanatic, but like, bruh.
He was mean and he was not cute.
No. Not
cute.
So this is no Gerard Butler.
Nope. No Gerard Butler, guys.
No Gerard Butler. So I could bring him up because he,
Well, yeah, because we did just recently have a conversation. Like, I declared that really Gerard Butler Dracula is the only Dracula that there really should be, because all the other ones I've seen are not cute.
I would say him, Gary Oldman, who did Francis Ford Coppola's version. And I would say there are a couple, but I would definitely say Dracula is an easier thing, I think, to connect to than maybe Wolfman or the Mummy or something like that.
Oh, definitely.
It's easier to be a good Dracula, I feel like, although it is also you really have to fudge things up to be a bad Dracula.
Well, like, not a spoiler alert, like, I didn't expect Frankenstein to be that super, nice.
I feel like if you know Frankenstein's story, though,
yeah,
if you know Frankenstein's story, you do kind of expect him to be a little bit of the hero, because Frankenstein's rub was never people. It was the way that people treated him. Like the way that his quote unquote father treated him and the way that he was disposable. So it was never really like, he never really hated humanity per se. He hated the way people were. So I feel like that's a good way of putting it up. I just have so many feelings. And so Kylee, I know you got some, but do you want to share your unfiltered thoughts before we really get into some of the meat and the potatoes of this episode? Go for it.
Okay, these are just some of my notes. Love the Stephen King t-shirt. That was fucking badass.
Yeah, and
like a One of Us moment.
Yeah,
like in our horror t-shirts now.
Yeah,
that was like the starts.
Yeah. Stephen King, it's so crazy because Stephen Mocht, who played Sean's dad, would later go on 3 years after this and do Graveyard Shift, which I am pretty sure is on Tubi. We will put a confirmation on that in the link down below. But anyone who has not watched Graveyard Shift, it is a crazy movie with minds and critters and the worst inhumanity. So it's kind of maybe a natural progression from this movie, I guess, in some way. But yeah, definitely. Even though Dracula's kind of a dick, he had a really sick ass car. Yeah. Always loved the hearse looking vehicles. Give me the Elvira Dracula vibes. So that's me. What about you?
I said I love these kids. They're hilarious. I think we should do the monster tests. The monster tests.
When somebody comes on to join her.
Well, not only that, but just to keep up to speed on the latest monsters.
That's a good idea. Yeah, the kids are awesome. Some of the moments, Rudy is definitely a boss for a junior high kid. He really, like, especially with that scene with Horace, he is like, I am not gonna let you do this. And he is, I just think of the moment where when he's like, I'll handle this, and they're like, what are you gonna do? He's like, I'm part of the monster squad, aren't I? And he's got like the stakes in his back and stuff like that. I was like, okay, little Van Helsing, do your thing. He was definitely a boss. The funny part too is with Horace, after he shoots Gilman, he said, my name is, he's like, I'm not Fat Man, my name is Horace, and does the gun. It made me think,
that was in my notes.
I know. It made me think of Ghost of Mars for some reason.
Yep.
Like, really did. Loved it. What's another one of your notes?
Juju said, ooh, Mummy's so creepy. Yeah, he was kind of creepy.
Yeah,
definitely. And the little girl said, don't be chicken shit. I fucking lost it when she said that. Lost it.
You know what's funny is she turned down a role in Fatal Attraction to be in this movie. I think like she was going to be one of the kids in Fatal Attraction, and she turned down Fatal Attraction to be in this movie.
That's probably better.
Legit.
It's a better kid movie.
Yeah. I have on there, Steve definitely counts. Just spoiler alert, there is like virginity talk in this movie. So if that is a theme that you do not want to explore with your children, just glide over it. But it's so funny when she's like, they're like, are you actually a virgin? And she's like, well, no, just with Steve, but he doesn't count. I'm like, girl, Steve definitely counts. Steve counts. So you were not the person. And then they have to turn to the 5-year-old to save the world.
I know, like of course, yeah.
Of course. And Frankenstein is the man. Frankenstein, he gags me every time when he gets the back of Dracula's neck, like when he's like going after Phoebe. I was like, damn.
He was not going for that.
He was not.
Who's a ride or die for Dracula? Wolfman. And I respect it.
But you know what's crazy is it's not his human side, because his human side is like, I don't want this. And like he actually thanks Rudy, because Rudy ends up being the one that shoots him. He actually thanks Rudy when he kills him because he's like so tortured over everything. Just like, oh, poor guy. Yeah. No, a lot of them were ride or die, and I almost wonder if that's like organic or if that's like Dracula had them under a spell. I kind of don't come from you people, but if this was Imhotep, I don't know if he'd be riding like that. I don't know. Nope. Maybe not, but I would dare not to think so. He's Romeo and Julieting it in his mind, and I don't think Dracula's different universe.
Yep, different universe.
Different universe. Any other notes that you want to bring up?
I underestimated the mummy. I didn't think he did anything but creepy walk. See, bro, I'm new to the Universal Monsters. I'm new. Like, I've known all the characters, but besides like the details, the PADHE you have, I do not have.
Well, I think it just comes with time. I think Universal Monsters is something you could either get into something really early, or it takes till you get later on in life to appreciate them. I've always liked some of them growing up, but it's really as I got older that I respected them. Like Creature from the Black Lagoon wasn't really on my radar until I started this podcast, and I really went back and watched.
Honestly, my favorite one, I think. I don't know. I just really liked him. I liked his entrance.
Yeah, his entrance was cool, but I kind of felt like Creature from the Black Lagoon wouldn't be fucking with Dracula like this. Creature from the Black Lagoon is very like
isolated.
He won't fuck with you if you don't fuck with him.
Yeah.
Don't do no shit if you want no shit. That's his vibes. Again, if we are cussing too much, it's Horrorcraft. It's a Horrorcraft Spooky Moms takeover, but over on Spooky Moms, we are much more wholesome. Wholesome.
We're always wholesome. At least I am. Thank you very much.
Okay. I'm gonna exit stage left on that one. I'm just kidding. So what is one of your favorite parts from Monster Squad?
I think when they were like when Frankenstein, like, he comes, like, Phoebe walks up with him and they're like freaking out, but then they realize, like, oh, he's not bad. That's probably my favorite.
I really like the relationship between Sean and his dad.
Me too. I love that his parents, like, believed him.
Yeah, his dad was like, my kid knows this. My kid knows this. Which, for those of you who don't know, Dell is his name. Yeah, Dell, Sean's dad. That is actually Stephen Mock, which is Gabriel Mock's father. And if you don't know who Gabriel Mock is, he was on The Spirit, but he is more known for Harvey from Suits. That surprised me, but his dad was hot back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. But I just like their relationship, especially the part that, like, related to me. I think that I would have loved to have a moment like that in my childhood, was when they're on the roof and he's trying to watch the movie in the binoculars, and the dad comes up with, like, the burger and stuff like that, and you know that the dad, like, and mom have been getting into it and stuff like that, but just that he took the time to, like, have that moment with his kid. And I just feel like that's so wholesome. And I just love it. I love their relationship. I love that he believes him most of the time.
He didn't dim his love for
no. And the one thing I really appreciate about this movie is it doesn't shy away from the parents having issues. Like, the parents have issues, but they're very clearly, like, in this context that we love each other. It's just parent things that we're going through, and they really don't try to drag their kids into it. Phoebe does say the part, are you going to yell at him? And, she's like, I love your dad, but your dad, sometimes screws up, basically, is like the gist of the conversation. I just feel like that sometimes in movies we lose that part. And I feel like that's important.
I agree.
I feel like that's important representation, especially when we're talking about spooky moms.
Horror is more than horror.
Yeah. And I think just having that, where, like, very clearly the parents love each other, but they have real life issues. The dad has a very demanding job. Mom doesn't feel like she's being seen. And I just feel like there are things that people can connect with so much in there. I just love that. I really do. The one part that kind of sketched me out that they put in this movie, I understand why, but the brides.
Yeah, where the hell did they come from? They just came out of left field.
They're the girls that he fed on in the closet when he tells.
Okay, yeah, but they scared the crap out of me.
I was like, oh, okay. We didn't need to include them.
No, we didn't.
Nobody asked them to come to the front.
We didn't need you.
I also think this is a good example of not judging your neighbor, because these kids very clearly, like, thought. Are you okay, Fred?
My dog.
We're keeping that in this episode. We're keeping it in this episode. We're keeping it.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I had to close it.
Kylie's back. If you please go watch the YouTube.
Just go watch
That was an amazing moment. Not only will you get to see me doing my Jeff Goldblum right now, but
you're gonna see us scared. You're gonna see me scared twice.
It's a great day. It's great. I'm still trying to do the Matthew McConaughey and it's not working. But that was great. And for those of you who don't know, Ryder is a big dog, so that definitely had to scare the shit out of Kylee.
The door was closed. I don't understand. I thought literally Dakota was coming inside, and I'm like,
Kylee, I just looking at you. You're just like, that was fantastic. I just feel like, don't judge your neighbor. Like, they thought the neighbor was like a scary guy, and the neighbor comes in and saves the day.
Comes in clutch, bro. Comes in clutch.
And he served them homemade pie. Like, you have a German. Pepsi. Yeah, he served you pie and Pepsi, and he taught you about the German culture. Like,
he read Van Helsing's diary.
Yeah, real ones. Real one. He is a real one. So I have said my favorite Monster Squad person. But who's yours? Because mine's Rudy.
Horace.
I love Horace. And it's so sad because the actor that played him died in 1997 from pneumonia. And I'm just like, oh.
No, he was the chunk.
Yeah.
He was the chunk of the group.
He was, very much so. Very much so. And it's crazy because
the mom actually played in the Goonies.
Yeah.
She was the mom of
Sean Astin's character.
Sean Astin's character and
Josh Brolin's.
Josh Brolin, yeah.
Yeah. So it's crazy. But yeah, who was your favorite monster?
My favorite monster?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I want to say Frankenstein, but honestly, I think Wolfman. I like the Wolfman thing.
I definitely.
We know you're gonna say Dracula. It's not even fair.
No, I'm not gonna say Dracula.
You're gonna say Frankenstein.
I really am Frankenstein, because Frankenstein in this one, he just like, he is that kind of that character in the Goonies, you know. He is
he's sloth.
He's sloth. Yeah, and it's just such a connective tissue to Frankenstein, like everything we want Frankenstein to be, he is in this. So I just think it's great. So I love him. So definitely go check out the movie. We didn't really synopsize it because we want you to see this. It's a good movie. It's a gem, both to watch with your kids, your preteens, and to watch for yourself. If you love this, the director of this then goes on and does Night of the Creeps, which is a fantastic horror movie that has Tom Atkins in it, who is another person that I love and behold dearly in the horror genre. So definitely go watch it. Some of the facts in this movie, though, they, like I said, the licensing for this was kind of crazy. You know, the funny part that makes me belly laugh, though, too, is in the beginning when they're talking about the original, like, what happens with Dracula, and they're like, they blew it. You talk that talk. I just die. I'm like, and they blew it. And they blew it. So due to licensing issues, and all of this is on IMDb, we will put the link down below. Give credit where credit is due. Due to licensing issues, the crew had to create characters that were suggestive but not exact copies of Universal's iconic monsters. The challenge was to suggest those classic creatures without really copying them. explained Shane Mann, because we didn't have permission or the license to use those specific images. So we could do a gill man, for example, but it couldn't look too much like Creature from the Black Lagoon. It was frustrating for us at first, but of course we wanted to do original designs, but we couldn't. We could only suggest those designs. So the Frankenstein creature looks a bit like the Karloff creature, but instead of bolts in the neck, he has bolts on the forehead. Oh, I did notice that. They are on the forehead instead of the neck.
Yeah, they are. I didn't like that.
Yeah. So yeah, so that is crazy. In 2006, Wizard magazine made a list of the 100 greatest villains of all time. Dracula was ranked number 30 on the list, but surprisingly, it was Duncan Rager's performance in this film as Dracula. His performance was chosen over all the other versions of the character. He is still considered to be one of the absolute best interpretations of the character. I mean, I agree with that because he is very much evil Dracula. So when you think of that,
yeah,
he is the one Dracula who could make me hate Dracula. And
yeah,
that is a feat.
For sure. For sure.
Because I'm a pretty ride or die Dracula person. So.
But you still like the mean Dracula, you freak.
I do, but I don't. You know who I feel like
not that one though. Not that one.
No.
But you know what I mean when I say that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So they had the same line. Dead guys don't just get up and walk away by themselves. They had the same line in this movie as Night of the Creeps. That is also written and directed by Fred Decker. As I said, Ashley Banks, who played Phoebe, turned down a role in Fatal Attraction to play Phoebe. There were a bunch of Easter horror eggs in here. There is a poster of Return of the Living Dead on the wall of the clubhouse. As you pointed out, Mary Ellen Trainor. It was also the mom who played on the Goonies. She was also in Die Hard.
Really?
Yeah.
Never seen Die Hard.
Another poster that was on the wall of the clubhouse was Zombie by Lucio Fulci. So I'm trying to think of some of these ones. There was a short-lived TV show called The Monster Squad about wax figurines of 3 monsters that come to life and battle evil in the 1976. That was not, a lot of people thought that this movie was a remake of that. It's not. When they have to read the German incantations out of the book, Patrick's sister, who is an older teenager, has bad German pronunciation. But little Phoebe, who is only 5 years old, has perfect pronunciation. Ryan Lambert, who plays Rudy in this film, he is now an ordained Lutheran minister, and he actually officiated Sylvester Stallone's brother's wedding. Mary Ellen Trainor again got around. She starred as an LAPD psychiatrist in the Lethal Weapon films.
She did.
Yes. The mom comforts Phoebe by placing a lit candle next to her bed, telling her nothing bad can happen as long as it's there. Later in the movie, a candle blows out just before Dracula crashes into their house like a bolt of lightning. I never thought about that.
Yeah. Yikes.
The creature from the Black Lagoon is never mentioned by name by the characters, even though the credits refer to it as Gillman, because they couldn't obtain the rights to use the official character in time for shooting. The picture that Frankenstein's monster takes off of Patrick's sister undressing in front of the window is actually of a blonde girl in a black shirt. The brief scene where Frankenstein meets Phoebe by the water is a clear homage to a similar scene in the original Frankenstein film, where in the original, Boris Karloff sees the little girl by the water. Obviously, we know how that plays out. Um, so yeah, Monster Squad. And you know what? I'm gonna look it up, but there is a documentary. It's called Wolfman's Got Nards. That was another one, a line that takes you out when Horace is like,
Wolfman's got nards.
Wolfman's got nards.
Duh, bro.
So Wolfman Got Nards is a horror documentary about Monster Squad, which came out in 2018. It is currently on Tubi. It is about the impact of the film Monster Squad on its fan, cast, and crew. So yeah, it is a good one. To definitely so for those of you who are not familiar with Spooky Moms, at Spooky Moms, we talk about triggers, age, range that we think is for the movie. So we're going to do that really quickly. Again, if anyone has a problem with talk of virginity, sex, stuff like that, they do talk about those. There is some suggestive language in there. I would say 11, 12 is about the age you can have your kid. I mean, obviously Julian watched it and it's not, but you know your kid better than anyone else. But I would say in general, this is a preteen movie.
Yeah.
And there are some kids that smoking cigarette, like Rudy, I think smokes cigarettes and stuff like that.
And Julian was just super into the monsters. Like, who's that?
Yeah.
Who's that? Oh man.
Yeah.
Dracula's not nice.
Yeah, Dracula's not nice. That's the greatest cosign ever. I think
he's not nice in this one, Bobby.
He's not. So I would definitely say like preteen. Preteen's good. If you ever have a question about the rating and the specifics, we always advocate. Common Sense Media does a good job at breaking certain films down. I will link that down below in the description. So please check it. You can always check for triggers too on doesthedogdie.com. I can't verify whether or not this movie is on there, but they do have a pretty great selection. So getting into some movies that is like Monster Squad, we're going to go movies Spooky Moms approved and Horrorcraft. So which one do you want to do first? Horrorcraft or Spooky Moms?
You pick.
Okay, we'll go Spooky Moms. The Gate. If you've never seen The Gate is a movie that has a young Stephen Dorff, which the main guy from Blade. In the original Blade, Deacon Frost, he's a kid in this movie, and he plays where somehow he inadvertently opens up a gate in his house where all these like little demon clay figures take over his house, and he has to like save his family from it. It's creepy. But I would say it's definitely in the genre of this. So if your kid likes this, that might be a natural progression. Kylee might remember this, but Legend with Tom Cruise and Tim Curry.
We've talked about this before. I've never seen it.
You definitely need to see it. It's on VOD. Tom Cruise plays a like forest spirit character that falls in love with this girl, Jennifer Connelly, and she ends up exposing one of the last unicorns, and this dark figure played by Tim Curry comes in and takes it, wants to take her as well. It's about the darkness, dark and light. There are some crazy scenes in this that might not be great for the younger kids, so 13 and up, I would say definitely. Little Monsters,
my favorite.
Do you want to describe Little Monsters?
Little Monsters is about a little boy who is getting into like a lot of trouble, lying, stuff like that, and this monster appears out of under his bed and takes him to this whole universe. But this monster keeps like doing shit to him too. like making him get in trouble, but it's great.
Well, that is currently on Pluto TV. Which one do you think I'm going to say next? It is one that we have covered for both Horrorcraft and Spooky Moms.
Complain?
Mm-mm.
Ernest Scared Stupid.
Ernest Scared Stupid.
That's the perfect one.
The perfect one. And the Chiodo brothers do the special effects.
Yeah.
So you get to see some reused killer clown molds, which is fantastic. That is available for rent on VOD. This next one, Kylie might not know of, but this is based on a book series. They only did one of them. But VODCirque du Freak, the vampire's assistant, that is on Hulu. It's about a kid who unwillingly gets attached to a vampire who becomes his sire, and he gets plopped into the middle of a circus of vampires and a political war going on. So yeah, strap in. So that is another one, 12, 13, I would say. So Horrorcraft wise, we're getting into the big hitters.
Pow,
pow. House is a big one. House is about a man who loses his son and moves into this house that was left to him by his aunts, and really crazy shit happens, and it's almost like a fever dream. That is currently on TUBI. Lost Boys is a fantastic one. The only sparkly vampires that I will acknowledge ever. That is available for VOD. Waxwork. If you like Dracula, there is a fantastic Dracula in Waxwork, but it is about a bunch of teens who happen upon a wax museum that just opened in their town. Wax museum looks a little weird. And what happens is it is controlled by an evil man who sucks people into the wax exhibits. And if they die in the wax exhibit, they become part of it. And he has to collect so many souls. It is a fantastic movie. You would like it. You're shaking your head, but you would like it.
I think I would.
Yeah. Pumpkinhead.
Oh yeah.
Pumpkinhead's fantastic. Pumpkinhead, spoiler alert,
Trigger warnings.
Yeah. Pumpkinhead, we were going to do for Father's Day. We didn't get a chance because our vacations were crazy. So we do plan on doing a designated episode for Pumpkinhead in the future, but Lance Hendricks, his performance he deserved a Oscar for this performance. It is about a man who ends up losing his child, and in his deepest grief decides to take vengeance on the people who caused it by calling out to an evil spirit called Pumpkinhead, and it devolves in the worst ways possible. And it's kind of him wrestling with his humanity, and it is a fantastic movie. For all of you who don't know, Lance Hendrickson in my mind is my horror father. So I'm the product of him and Elvira.
Yeah. It's him. Yeah. If him and Elvira had a love child.
Yeah, that would be me. Mm-hmm. So, call me for the DNA test.
Lance Hendrickson, you are the father.
I'm just kidding, but I do love Lance Hendrickson, and he is a gem. I talked about Night of the Creeps on here. Definitely go check that out. That is like the grown-up version of Monster Squad, but with aliens and some really fucked up shit. So that is on VOD. And one of my last all-time favorites, and if you didn't think that this was going to make the list, it definitely is, but Nightbreed. Nightbreed. Well, I just got activated.
Don't you get active. Don't you get active.
Nightbreed.
What's going on the list?
Nightbreed is on TUBI, and Nightbreed is about a man named Boone who has dreams that he is killing people, and those murders are actually coming true, and he thinks that he is the one causing them. He ends up getting killed, death by cops, And what he finds out is he is part of the Nightbreed, which are these creatures. And it is very much a movie where the creatures are the good guys and the humans are the bad guys. And it is one of the few movies that David Cronenberg is in that he is the bad guy. So it is fantastic. It is bloody. It is violent. Always watch the director's cut. Never watch the original because Nightbreed had the worst misalignment ever happen in the history of horror movies, probably, where a executive saw 20 some minutes of the movie and decided to cut half of it because they didn't like the fact that the movie was the monsters being the good guys. So definitely check it out. But last thoughts on Monster Squad. What do you think?
I loved it. It's fun. It's something I'll watch with or without my kids now.
It's a warm hug.
It's a warm hug. It's a warm hug.
And for those of you who didn't know, this is actually kind of a kickoff to next month, which is going to be Universal Monsters Month here at Horrorcraft. And we're going to be diving more into the Universal Monsters, both new and old versions. Kylie just recently watched Invisible Man for the first time.
I can't wait to talk about it. Don't get me started. Can't wait.
The new Invisible Man is amazing. Old Invisible Man is a fuckboy. I'm gonna say that on record.
Yeah, we're just already gonna clarify. The Invisible Man is a fuckboy.
He's a first-rate fuckboy, like the sticker says.
First-rate fuckboy.
First-rate fuckboy. But
I think I got a sticker pack right here.
Kylie's like, I'm gonna put it right here.
You guys are gonna see it.
You guys are gonna see it. I think it's fantastic. I love sharing it with people. I think it's a great way to bridge that gap. And that's what we're all about on Spooky Mom. So if you liked what you heard, minus the language on here, head on over to Spooky Moms. We'll link everything down below. And this is the year of both Horrorcraft and Spooky Moms taking over. So get ready to see a lot of us on screen doing a lot of different shenanigans. Yeah. So why did I sound like Fran Drescher just then?
Because you are in the subcategory as Fran Drescher.
Yeah. I'm like, if Fran Drescher, Jennifer Tilly, Elvira, and Dolly Parton had a baby, that'd be me.
And Wilma.
And Wilma Lee.
Don't you forget Wilma. Put some respect on her name.
Put some respect on my grandmother's name. But no, this is a great time. So definitely check it out. We are super excited to start Universal Monsters Month and talk about the many things that I think the Universal Monster brings, and also talking about the recently revealed plans for the Universal Monsterland for Epic Universe. I am hyped. I literally cried watching it again. I am emotional. We already established this. So, and stay tuned, because if you didn't see the announcement on Instagram, next week's episode where we have Joanna on, we are going to be making an announcement about somebody on this podcast.
I don't know who.
I don't know either. So come back, listen to that. Yeah. Who knows? And nobody's going to know. They're not going to know. So if you didn't see the announcement, come back. We'll be able to talk and gush about that and get into some Reddit stories. So watch out for that episode. But until next time, it's me, Cassandra, and
Kylie.
And we are both Horrorcraft and Spooky Moms.
Yep.
So from one Spooky Mom to another, we're out. Peace.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Yeah, peace out, Girl Scouts. We'll see you on the flip side. Bye, and stay spooky.